Hey guys. Hey guys. So when we left off yesterday morning on the one and only Ivan, remember he had been getting introduced to other gorillas. There were a few females and a juvenile, which means a young one. Not quite a baby, but maybe like your guys' age, okay, in gorilla years. Anyways, um, he was kind of getting used to going into the outside, is what he was calling it, an enclosure where they had outside features, and he was making a nest, and he was trying to remember what it was like to be a gorilla. But he was still sad because he didn't know what happened to Ruby, and the doctor had brought in a TV and showed him the videos of Ruby being with other elephants, playing with other baby elephants, and having other adult elephants take care of her. And he could see that she was happy. And so that made him feel so much better. It. Kenyani ambles towards me. She taps me on the shoulder and Knuckle runs away. I watch her, arms crossed over my chest. I'm careful not to make a sound. I'm not sure what we're doing. She ambles back, shoves at me, dashes past, and then I realize what's happening. We're playing. We're playing tag. And I'm it. Romance. Make eye contact. Show your form. Strut. Grunt. Throw a stick. Grunt some more. Make some moves. Romance is hard work. It looks so easy on TV. I'm not sure I will ever get the hang of it. More about romance. I wish Bob were here. I could use some advice. I try to recall all the romance movies we watched together. I remember the talking, the hugging, the face licking. I'm not very good at this, but it's fun trying. Grooming. Is there anything sweeter than the touch of another as she pulls a dead bug from your fur? Talk. Gorillas aren't chatty like humans, prone to gossip and bad jokes. But now and again, we swap a story under the sun. One day it's my turn. I tell my troop about Mac and Ruby, and Bob and Stella and Julia and George, about my mother and father and sister. When I'm done, they look away, silent. Kenyani moves closer, her shoulder brushes mine, and we let the sun soak into our fur. Together, the top of the hill. I've explored every nook and cranny of this place except for a hill at the far end where the workers have been repairing a wall. They're finally gone, but left behind fresh white brick and a mound of black dirt. While the others laze in the morning sun, I want to explore the hilltop. They've been there before, and I have not. Everything is still fresh to my eyes. I take my time going uphill, savoring the feel of grass on my knuckles. The breeze carries the shouts of children and the drowsy hum of bumblebees. Near the top of the hill is a low-limbed tree, the kind my sister would have loved. The wall is endless, clean and white, stretching far down to the habitats beyond my own. It's high and wide, carefully built to keep us in and others out. This is, after all, still a cage. It rained last night, and the pile of dirt is soft to touch. I scoop up a handful and breathe in the loamy smell. It's a rich brown color, heavy and cool in my palm, and the wall waits like an endless blank billboard. Remember, he likes to paint. He likes to make art. The wall. It's a big wall, but it's a big pile of dirt, and I'm a big artist. I slap handfuls of mud on the warm cement. I make a handprint. I tap my nose with a muddy finger. I make a nose print. I slide my palms up and down. The mud is thick and hard to use, but I keep moving and scooping and spreading. I don't know what I'm making, and I don't care. I make swoops and swirls and thick lines, figures and shapes, light and shadow. I'm an artist at work. When I'm done, I step back to admire my work. But it's a large canvas, and I'd like to get a better view. I go to the thick-limbed tree and grab the lowest branch. I try to swing my legs. Oomph! I land hard. I'm too big to climb, I suppose. I try again anyway, and this time I pull myself onto the first limb, gasping for breath. I think he's probably a little out of shape. He hasn't had to do this before. One more limb, two, and I can't go any further. Perched halfway up the tree, I see my troop, still dozing contentedly. That means they're all taking a nap. I take in the wall, splattered and splashed with mud. Not much color, but lots of movement. I like it. It feels dreamy and wild, like something Julia might have made. From my seat in the tree, I can see beyond the wall. I see giraffes and hippos. I see deer with legs like delicate twigs. I see a bear snoozing in a hollow log. I see elephants. Safe. She's far away, belly deep in tall grass, with others by her side. Ruby. She's here, Stella, I whisper. Ruby's safe, just like I promised. Oh, there she is. I call to Ruby, but the wind tugs at my words, and I know she'll hear me. Still, Ruby pauses for a second, her ears spread wide like tiny sails. Then, with lumbering grace, she moves on through the grass. She might have heard him. Silverback. It's a cloudy evening, chill and drizzly. Dinner is on its way, but I don't care. At night we sleep in our den, but I'm always the last to head inside. I've been inside long enough. This time of day, there aren't many visitors, just a few stragglers. Leaning on the wall that separates us, they point, take a couple photos, and then head over to the nearby giraffes. One of the keepers is beckoning. Reluctantly, I turn to go. Out of the corner of my eye, I see someone running. I pause. It's a girl with dark hair lugging a backpack. A man follows behind, racing to catch up. Ivan! The girl yells. Ivan! It's Julia! I scramble to the edge of the wide moat with skirts that skirts the wall. Julia and George wave to me. I dash back and forth, hooting and grunting, doing a gorilla dance of happiness. Calm down, says a voice. You're behaving like a chimp. I freeze. A tiny nut-brown, big-eared head pops out of Julia's backpack. Nice place, Bob says. Bob, I say, it's really you. In the flesh. How? Where? I can't seem to find any words. George's job at the zoo doesn't start till next month, so he and Julia made an agreement. She's walking 3 extra dogs to cover my food, and get this. They're all poodles. There's Julia with Bob in her backpack. You said you didn't want a home, I say. Yeah, Bob says, but Julia's mom likes my company, so I figure I'm doing everybody a favor. It's a win-win. Julia pushes Bob's head back inside the backpack. You're not supposed to be here, she reminds him. Ivan looks great, doesn't he, Jules? George asks. Stronger, happier even. Julia holds up a little photo, but it's too far away for me to see. It's Ruby, Ivan. She's with other elephants now because of you. I know. I want to tell her. I saw with my own eyes. We stare across the expanse that separates us. After a while, George pats Julia's arm. Time to go, Jules. Julia gives him a wistful smile. Bye, Ivan. Say hello to your new family. She turns to George. Thank you, Dad. For what? For, she gestures towards me. For this. They turn to leave. The lamps that light the zoo pathways blink on, blanketing the world with yellow light. I could just make out Bob's little head sticking out of Julia's backpack. You are the one and only Ivan, he calls. I nod, then turn toward my family, my life, my home. Mighty Silverback, I whisper. There he is. And that is the end of the story. Go back to this page. So you can see Ivan had been captured pretty much his whole entire life. He remembers his childhood, but he had been taken and then he was sold to a human and put in a circus where, at first when he started off, he was kind of a novelty. Everybody wanted to see the baby gorilla dressed up, and he was treated kind of like a baby human to Mac, probably until he got too big to be at home, and then he ended up being kept over at the circus where, he didn't realize it, but his life wasn't the best that it could be for a wild gorilla. And he didn't realize that until he had seen Stella suffer and pass away, and little Ruby, was going to be put in that same situation as Stella, where she would be living a life, you know, doing something that she shouldn't have been doing her whole life. So he saved her, and in turn, he also saved himself. I don't think Mac was probably trying to be a bad guy. Um, he probably tried to take care of the animals the best that he could, and he was trying to make money, but that's not how they should have been treated. And so now the one and only Ivan, the mighty Silverback, he's got himself a gorilla family, and he's going to live out the rest of his life very happily. So I hope you enjoyed this book. I did, and I will see you guys later.